Hello, my stamping friends. My name is Holly Peterson, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. Today, I'm going to show you how to do this herringbone card. It looks like a great card for a masculine birthday is what we're using it for. And I saw this technique with these papers done by Kelly Acheson, and I just really liked it. So we did this in one of my, this was one of the cards we did in class this month. So I have all my measurements for you. We started off with basic beige at 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. Early espresso, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Basic beige, 4 by 5 1/4. A piece of basic beige that measures 2 by 2. And we're going to use the 1 3/4 inch circle punch for that. And then I have 6 strips of this paper. 3 designs. We'll use both sides of the paper. And this paper is, I didn't write it down. Hold on just a sec. The Woven Textures, and it's an online exclusive that you can get online now. And with these 6 strips, you should have enough to probably do 2 cards with these strips. So the first thing we're going to do is, let me show you the stamp sets. I'm using Textured Notes, Simply Said for my happy birthday, and Beside Me for celebrating you today. And this is in the last chance, getting ready to retire. So we're going to start with our basic beige layer. And then you're going to pick whichever design you want to start with. That'll be the longest piece of designer paper. I think I'm going to start with this one. And you can go in as far as you like or up as far as you like. But I found it best to go ahead and meet the corner up here. Let's scoot this over here a little bit. So I just kind of loosely mark that with my finger. And I'm going to use liquid glue for this. And probably a silicone mat will be good, just in case. If you don't have one of these silicone mats, I think it's a must-have tool. So we're going to just kind of angle it like that. And I maybe need a little bit more glue here. And then the next piece that we're going to do, we're going to go this way. We're going to line this edge up with this edge of this piece here. And then you're going to just butt it right up next to that. And then once I have my area that I need to fill in, I like to just put some liquid glue in there. You could use Seal or Seal Plus, whatever you want. And get it right up by the edge there. And then you just decide which patterns you like next to each other. There's really no rhyme or reason. And you're going to line it up here with this edge, and then along here, you'll butt those up nice and tight. We'll lay this one down here. that liquid glue, you have a little bit of leeway to slide the paper into position there. And so this piece will go here. And I have a little tiny piece right here. So I'm going to go ahead and take my snips. And normally I would cut this from the back side. This one piece I'm going to cut from the front. And then I'm going to just layer that back in there. Like that. Okay, while we have this piece out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp some leaves here in the bottom corner. And I'm going to use Early Espresso ink to do that. And you want it to come up high enough so that they poke out behind the circle. And it doesn't matter what they look like in the center here because we're going to cover that. Okay. Then we're going to just set that aside for a minute. I'm going to take the round basket type image with crumb cake. And we're going to stamp it on our 2x2 basic beige. And I'm actually going to stamp that off. And then when you have a scrap of paper like this and it won't fit easily into your punch, it's hard to line that up and hold your paper. So what I like to do is use a Post-it note as my extender. So we'll just put the Post-it note there on the corner. And now you can position it where you need to within your punch. And again, that was the 1 3/4 inch circle punch. On here, we're going to stamp Celebrating You Today, just in the center. Oops, I wanted that in, well, that'll be okay. I meant to do that in Early Espresso, but I think that since I stamped off, it'll show. On our card base, I'll go ahead and fold that in half. And then on the inside, we're going to stamp another one of these. And I'm going to stamp it off again. Just in the center. And this time I really am going to use the Early Espresso with the Happy Birthday just across the center there. We can just adhere our Early Espresso. Like that. And then when you have twine and it's all kinked like this, it makes it a little bit harder to work with. So I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to run that between my thumb and the bone folder, and that straightens it out quite a bit for you. Makes it a little easier to make it do what you want it to do. So with this, I just did 2 loops. Kind of fidgeted with it here. And then I'm just going to add some adhesive in the middle here. This is about 12 inches of twine. Might be a little bit too much. So we'll trim that off. But then you can stick it in your adhesive on the back. And then we are going to be adding that with some dimensionals. I don't have any big ones, so we'll just use the little ones here. Maybe one more right here. That should work. We'll set that aside. This has had time to dry. I'm going to get rid of this ink before I make a mess. So now this has had time to dry. So now we're just going to turn it over to the back. And snip the rest of these off. I'm using my layer as a guide. You could do this on your paper trimmer. I like to just do it with my paper snips. And then with these scraps, I'm going to do another card with all of those scraps. So that's what it looks like so far. We'll go ahead and add this to the card front. Ooh. It tore up the paper. Sometimes I think I pressed too hard, and it definitely, I'll try it this way. It doesn't want to play nice today. I found if you go a different way with your runner, it usually helps it from tearing up the paper like that. Okay, we'll just add this to the front. We just have skinny little borders there, like that. We'll take our greeting. And we'll snip this off a little bit. And the last thing we need to do, well, we're going to stamp our envelope. And I'm just going to put one of the leaves on there in the early espresso. And then the last thing we need to do is add some embellishments. Even though it's a guide card, you don't generally add ribbon and embellishments, but I love these neutral matte dots. And they come in black, white, pecan pie, and basic beige. And I like the basic beige on here. And I use my Take Your Pick tool and I just slide it off there. We'll put 2 there, and another little one we'll put right over there. There we have a quick, easy masculine card. I do like it better with the greeting in early espresso, but that one works as well. I greatly appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch my video. Please give me a thumbs up and a like, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks again. Bye for now.